we have is a 2006 Yamaha Roadstar 1700 cc's, and we have a problem with the stator, which is located right over here. So basically the battery right now is not getting the charge. We had a professional mechanic had a quick look, and they determined it's the stator. Okay, so we have ordered all the parts. So you need a gasket, and here's the number, and we also have the new stator that we're going to be installing. We'll see how this goes. I'm just going to go and follow the procedures, what the book says, and basically the procedure is right here. I'm going to remove the seat. I probably will remove the tank. That way I can get all the stuff out. Probably remove the battery. I'm gonna have to remove the exhaust pipe and the footrest. We'll have to hang this somewhere, and so I can get into these bolts right over there. Okay, let the work begin. So I quickly remove the battery and the seat. I'm not sure if I'm going to be taking the tank off. We'll see how it goes. Right, next what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the exhaust pipe right here. It's very simple. 2 bolts up here. Then I'm going to follow the pipe, and there's 2 bolts underneath here to unbolt, and then I'll just take this off. And then at the same time, I'm gonna go and unbolt the 2 bolts right here for the footrest. That way this is not gonna be in the way, and it's actually fairly simple. Work is moving. Okay, so I have removed the exhaust pipe right here. Actually came out very easy. Removed the footing, and instead of disconnecting all this and all the electrical cables, all I did is I just hang this up on top of the handlebar, and now I have a clear access right now in to the stator assembly, which is right here. So next what I got to do is I'm going to have to drain the oil. Once the oil is drained, I'm going to have to remove bolt right here, that one and that one. I will leave these 2 and then remove all these other bolts. But I'm going to have to make a pattern right here. That way everything is going to go in nice and smooth. But next step is I got to drain the oil. And once that is done, I'll come back. Draining the oil right now. That way it's all going to be good to go when we take the cover off from here, and the 2 bolts that need to be coming off of there. And now I'm just waiting a few more minutes till all this drains right out, and then we're going to be good to go. We drained the oil. I already put everything back. So we're in process of removing these 2 bolts, one here and one here, and then we're going to be removing all these. I believe there's 10 bolts, and we're going to get a trace of all these bolts, and then the next video is when we're going to start pulling everything off. So, I have removed the 2 bolts from here. They're loose. This is all loose. All these are loosened off. What Steve is doing right now, he's tracing this out from the original gasket. That way we can put all the bolts in the right spot, and the stator, and we'll see how this goes. Just give him a few more minutes. We're continuing on. We made a trace. Last 2 bolts I'm going to take out, and we're going to be taking out the stator. Okay, and last bolt. Okay, this is where the magic is going to happen. Okay, so we have all the bolts. This is how they are marked. No, we can't screw up. So we are good to go. We're gonna move this away. Okay, now this is where the magic happens. Oh, nope. We gotta have to give her a little bit of a love tap. So we just move this around, okay? And we're just pulling this out a little bit, and it should come out nice and slow. Okay. Okay. Okay, here we go. Here we go. And this is where we are. Okay. Okay. So this is the stator. This is what it looks like. Okay, so now we're gonna take the electrical out and see how this goes. Okay, we got the dowels here. One here, okay, good. Huh, okay. The gasket came out good. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so we are looking good. Okay, so we're continue on. Steve is actually unplugging the wire from the stator, which is he's just playing around in here. And in a second, I'll show you guys what this looks like. But it's actually going very well. I'm in 1 hour and 25 minutes up to this point. Also, the gasket came off extremely good, no issues. So we have the gasket right here. This is the old one. And what we're gonna do, we're just gonna go compare it. And here we go. Like there's no damage. We are looking actually extremely well. And this is the stator. We're gonna have to undo 1, 2, and 3 bolts. Once Steve is done inside, clean all this, and then we're going to be slapping everything back together. So okay, and Steve is just unhooking the 2 cables. One is actually from here, and then one actually goes from the stator all the way in underneath, and Steve is doing his magic, just going underneath one of the clips. We have taken this out. We have the stator out. We got the coupler. That was a little bit of fun. This is our hands. So now what we got to do, we have to undo this, scrape it a little bit, and 3 bolts that will have to come out. And then we'll go from there. We just removed the 3 bolts, which were 1, 2, and 3. They're right here, 1, 2, and 3. We moved this around, the little grommet, and Steve's going to pull this whole thing out now. Success. Okay, this is 1 hour and 44 minutes up to this spot right here. Now we're going to spend a little bit of time cleaning this and preparing it for reassemble. All right, we are actually looking good. This is basically what it looks like. Wires all over the place, and then we're going to go from there. All right, so here we are. Steve is actually scraping the old gasket, making sure the new gasket, which is right over here, right, is going to pop in. This is the old gasket. Actually came out very good. And just to see a comparison, this is old stator. This is basically what it looks like. This is burned to crisp, and you can see it how bad this is on both sides. Here we go. This is what it looks like. And this is a new stator. Right here, fresh, no issues. Everything is nice and clean. So this is a quick comparison between both of them, what they look like. Bad, good. Steve-O is scraping the cover, and he's doing actually excellent job. And we still have a little bit of a clean to do. All the bolts are here nice and marked. Again, we are good to go. The biggest thing is we'll also need, we're going to be scraping the gasket right here, making sure this is all nice and clean. And another big thing is we're going to be fishing these wires back in behind the engine and hooking them up. And where they have to hook up, you have to hook up right here. And we got to go through all these little tiny spots. So I have brown, white, and the stator, which is right here. So this is going to be the biggest issue that we're going to have. But since I am a professional, we won't have any big issues. So that's all I got for now. We have everything fairly clean. We're installing this guy right inside. Okay. So this guy here. Yep. Okay. And that one. So 1, 2, 3, and then 4th bolt. The torque is 5.1 foot-pounds. All this, I'm just using my hand just to squeeze it all in. Okay. And we have a bracket. Now, but before we do it, we're also going to have to put this guy in. Okay, so we apply the silicone right up out here. 5 pounds, 5.1 pounds of torque, and we're torquing the bolts. And we did put a little bit of Loctite on the bolts. There we go. And one more. Okay, I'm gonna just check all of them. Yep. Yep. And yeah, so all this is already torqued. Steve already put the what is it, gasket maker. Yep. So now we're gonna be we already have the gasket down there, and we're ready to install this quickly. That way this will set right in, and we're gonna be good to go. We inserted all this in, and I'm just putting the bolts back in where they're supposed to, using my template. Okay. And here I just got to check the torque, where the torque on these guys are. Okay, so all this looks good. I'm gonna put a bolt, 2 bolts here in the second. Okay, why don't we just put this in right now? That way everything is torqued the right way. Okay, so all this is already back together. All the bolts. We have the wires here that we're going to be playing around with here in a second, where they got to go. And this is going to be the hardest part, fishing them out in. And in a second we're going to be torquing them. So now we're going to be torquing them, and there's a sequence you got to follow. So you got to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and that's it. Okay, that's already tight. So what I'm going to do once around is I'm just going to go around and recheck all the torque. And I have already torqued the 2 bolts right here to, again, 7.2 foot-pounds. Those are already torqued. So we already torqued all the bolts. Those 2 ran the wires underneath here through there. You can see it right here. And Steve already hooked them up right in here. So we are ready to go. Next thing we're going to be putting is the exhaust pipe, the foot pegs oil and the battery, and then we're gonna start this guy up. So this is where we are right now. Continue on. Okay, we just put the exhaust back on, which is very simple and easy. 2 bolts up here, and there's 1 bolt in behind here. Okay, all the wiring is out of the way. Okay, I just gotta slap this guy in. Yeah, okay, good. Everything looks good. All the boards are torqued. And now what we gotta do, we just gotta, one last thing, we just gotta put oil in here, battery, and then we're gonna start the bike. So this should be the final stage. The battery, we just added some oil. Now we're gonna go and give her a little bit of a start for about 30 seconds, and we're gonna shut her off. Okay, go ahead, Steve-O. Okay, now we're gonna go and check for leaks here. Oh yeah, we are good to go. Good to go. We're gonna shut her off. Okay, and it should go down. And we don't have any leaks. Everything is done the correct way. All the wires are zap strapped and away from the engine. Let me just check here. Oh yeah, everything is good to go. So the last thing that we got to do, just got to put the covers back on, the seat back on, and we're back on the road and we're good to go. We are finished. We did all of our checks. That means we went for a ride. We came back, engine is nice and hot, and there's no leaks. Everything is bone dry. Everything is the way it's supposed to be. So this, I call this a quick, it's a quick success. No problemo. So basically what we did, do this, and your bike is not charging up. This is it. So thank you for watching this and staying with me. And I'll see you on the next one.